morning. Happy Saturday. Starting the vlog off. Had a good little karaoke thing last night. We hadn't been in like a month. And yeah, this weekend, kind of take it easy. So it's going to be one of those boring vlogs. We're not really going anywhere. But because it's one of those weekends, I am going down to Kent to meet up with a friend of mine who chlorinated my Batgirl suit. And he's going to show me and you guys how to chlorinate latex. So I'm going to put together a video separate from this video log probably that is like a tutorial, and we're going to chlorinate my black cat suit, which I didn't make, but after getting into the Batgirl suit and how much easier it was, I'm like, I need to chlorinate all my cat suits because it's way easier to get on. I've ripped the black one a couple times now, so just, you know, less chance of ripping and stuff like that. So, but first, let's have some breakfast, shall we? Gonna have some honey nut checks, breakfast of champions, and somebody needs to put the dishes away. I haven't done that yet. And some coffee. Let's do this. All right. Well, I am down in Kent now. Drove down here to see my friend Josh, and he's going to be helping us with this latex chlorination tutorial today. So I brought my trusty tripod, and the article in question is black latex catsuit. So let's go do this, shall we? All right, so here we are, hanging out with my friend Josh.
Hi.
You want to talk about kind of how you got into latex a little bit? And
first costuming latex I did, actually, it was a funny story. I was at a steampunk convention, and there was a woman who, about a half of her outfit was latex, and this very prim woman next to me was tut-tutting, oh, can you imagine? They would never, it's totally inappropriate, can you imagine if a man tried doing that here? And so I, of course, hearing her be offended at the anachronistic, it's like, yeah, I can imagine that. That's not a bad idea. So my first latex costuming was a latex pirate shirt for a steampunk latex air pirate.
Awesome.
And then from there I got into, did Robin, Nightwing, I've done various other pieces with it. Some of it I buy, some of it I make. And chlorination I got into because the stuff is a pain to get on. If you're doing something that's snug, you know, it's soft, it's grippy, you're trying to slide it over your skin, you either slather yourself in oil and leave fingerprints everywhere, or you slather yourself with powder and leave powder marks everywhere.
Exactly, and even then, like, I don't know if you've ripped anything yet. I've ripped this thing twice and I've had to patch it now a couple times.
Yeah, so I was researching online, and the guys who do mermaid tails, those are often made out of heavy latex, and you know, it's your entire legs, and you're stretching it up, and then you're trying to get it off.
Right.
So there was a site that has a lot of information on chlorination there as an alternative, so that it's permanently lubricated and it just slides right on.
Okay.
So I started researching from there, and being the sort of nerdy sort, I went and read clinical journals on how they chlorinate latex gloves for medical use.
Wow.
And all that sort of stuff. So I came up with some chemistry that works and doesn't kill me.
Awesome. Well, that's what we're going to learn today.
Yeah.
So.
Now, some people will look at this and say that I'm being silly using the gas mask. There are people who will do this outdoors and just keep their face away, and I've seen enough people do stupid things with chemistry that I would rather be overprotective than under.
Yeah, makes sense, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, the precautions that I've seen people take versus not, and like one of the using gloves with latex thing isn't one that, like, you're the second person I've talked to that says, no, don't need to use gloves, really. So.
Well, and it also depends on how much exposure you're getting to different chemicals. And partly, for a lot of latex work, I use the water-based glue if it's a big long seam.
Oh, really? Doesn't that come off in the shower though? That's what I was.
No, once it sets up, it's permanent.
The ammonia. It's the ammonia based, right?
Yeah. Yeah, once it sets up, it's. I talked to a guy who used them on mermaid tails and actually swims in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I only use solvent-based so far, but I've heard about the ammonia-based. Batgirl.
Steampunk Batgirl for Halloween.
And that's for your wife?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's working on that. And then.
That's leather?
Yeah. The corset leather, and then mesh, and wool skirt. She made the hat.
Awesome.
But then the shop space is up in the attic. And it's a bit of a mess just now. It always is, actually. I'll be honest. Especially because there are nails.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah. So this end over here is the work table. At the moment, I'm working on a war horse and a unicorn for the Venice is sinking next year.
Oh, okay.
This is freshly wet molded leather horse mask.
Oh yeah, you've been doing the horse mask thing lately.
Yeah, so that's the main body of that.
Nice. So you have another, is it another concrete cast there? Or like
Yeah,
what?
this one is also concrete. Yeah, that's, and this is, I took one of those rubber horse head masks and put it over the concrete mask mold of my head so that it would be the right size and fit to my head. And
right.
Then get
the snout and all that.
Yeah, and then just cast that in plaster, poured it full of concrete.
Wow.
Sculpted it a little to bring out a little more relief because with the leather, you're hammering it down into the lines, so the leather doesn't come through with as much detail as your original casting has.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then just add the ears. And then at the other end is the sewing area where you can see the rest of the horse costume coming along.
And what's this?
Oh, that is
a pleather?
foam.
Foam, okay.
That is
it's a lot of foam.
Yeah, that was a friend had that in his garage and had used all of it he needed to use and needed to get rid of the rest of it.
Okay.
And he said it's free to anyone who has room for it.
Nice.
So yes. But then this is also the table that I do gluing on. And,
yeah, all the latex.
Yeah. Got a fan up here for some
so gluing on this side and then the sewing on that side.
Yeah, and that way I keep usually I keep the worst of the lint and the dust and all that over on the sewing side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Except that last month was Fairy Worlds and I made furry legs for a satyr, so right now the gluing table is covered with the remains of fur.
Yeah.
So it's going to need some cleaning before I do any gluing.
Right. Makes sense. Well, cool. And then you got the sewing machine stuff over here. And you got dress form here.
Yeah. Which is currently working on figuring out exactly. These are going to be ribs for the horse.
Oh, okay.
And his tail. And then the horse head. And then my wife will have white unicorn ribs tail.
Oh,
head.
yeah. Awesome. Got an old school sewing machine over here.
Yeah, it's a really nice walking foot machine that I've got geared down to go nice and slow so I can do precise work, and it'll punch through 6 layers, 8 layers of leather. Like,
wow.
like you're not even sewing
That's,
anything.
yeah, and it's metal, right? So
Yeah.
that's part of it.
Yeah, that's an industrial machine. That actually was surplused from a hospital
Oh.
where it had been used for things like making the straps in the psych ward.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, heavy duty.
So that's the one that's got the big long arm.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
And the foot rotates. The whole head rotates.
Oh, wow.
So that you can sew in any direction.
Right.
So, like, you know, you got something up your sleeve that you need to patch, you can run a whole coat sleeve up there and sew up here in any direction without having to worry about
That's
how do you
great.
get to it.
Wow. And again, it's metal.
Yeah, that's probably about 80 pounds there.
Nice.
They're normally installed on a permanent treadle stand, but I made it into a portable.
That's cool.
One of the nice things about drying this is it's not really soaked into it to sit on the surface.
Oh, uh-huh.
So you can just...
Oh, okay. It's so weird how it looks, you know, it was so shiny and then it looks so matte after the chlorination.
Yeah, but it still polishes up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you lube it up and it's back shiny again, so. About some upcoming latex projects that you're thinking of doing? Or?
Well, the next thing I'm going to be working on in latex is a Howie lab coat, you know, the traditional mad scientist
That's
lab
right.
coat with
the
the big row of buttons down the side there and the mandarin collar.
What color?
I'm going to do white with black buttons.
Okay.
Very simple, basic looking, but going to be really cool. And
so what thickness are you going to use for that?
0.4.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll double it up on the buttons for strength so they don't pull through. And for that I just use a spray glue and just spray over the whole surface, nice even, and just laminate it with a roller.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's next, and then possibly a little more work on my robin cape. Not entirely satisfied with the closure on it. Going to work on putting a harness on the inside that takes some of the load onto my shoulders, so it's not all just on. It's about a 5-pound cape.
And that one wasn't magnets, or was it?
No, that one is just a snap.
Snaps, okay.
Yeah.
That was the cam snaps you were talking about, or different?
I think I did that one in stainless snaps.
Oh, okay.
If I remember right.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
good question for you. Have you had any problems with metal staining latex?
Oh yes, any metal that has copper in it will definitely stain latex. So any brass, most silver colored fasteners are actually nickel plated brass, and they will stain.
Okay.
If you go to a supplier that does outdoor gear, especially sailboats, they use stainless steel, and that is passivated surface, so it does not stain.
Okay.
But yeah, anything that's iron can stain, copper can stain, brass can stain, coins.
Yeah, so I was playing with the neodymium magnets, and I think they're nickel
On the surface, yeah.
And so, but they don't seem to stain.
I don't think they do, no. Where I use them are always, cemented inside of something anyway.
Yeah.
The stains don't come through.
Oh,
at least
okay.
it's on the surface. Well, I suppose eventually it would come through.
Right.
But I did one test actually with pennies on some white sheet. I was trying to test different things to see how it would clean out the stain.
Oh.
Different bleaching formulas, and nothing I tried would take them out.
Really?
It's pretty much permanent. The only thing that'll get rid of them is a really fine sandpaper disc on a Dremel, and just very carefully sand down the latex to sand off the part that stains.
Oh, wow. So I'm getting ready to go back home, and I'm feeling pretty good about the footage we got for how to chlorinate latex. Seeing the back there, got the cat suit fully chlorinated, and have a lot of editing to do tonight, let's say that. But yeah, should be good. And Rest of the day, I'm probably going to patch a stocking that I ripped, and maybe we might do some packing and then video editing. So. What just happened?
Got the e-polish?
Quesaritos and like what?
Quesaritos?
Yeah, and what else do we want?
What else do you want?
Like a dollar something and some food. Like, I don't know about that. Are your cup holders glow in the dark?
Yeah, they have the green glow thing.
You